Hi, I'm Corey.
I'm Bill.
And together,
we host the In Focus podcast.
Today's episode is sponsored by Gnome Recording Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. We'll tell you all about Gnome Studios at the end of the show. Today, we're joined by photographer and cinematographer Moise Nicolas. Moise, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We're very excited to have you here.
So is photography the... Can we cut that out?
I can edit that. Or I might leave it in. We'll see.
Take two. So is photography where you started, or how did you get into filmmaking?
Photography is where I started, but it honestly started after music. I went to LA. I worked on a song out there. The guys in the studio were, first of all, the guys in the studio were amazing, right? But at the same time, they were also doing things that I was like, yeah, I can't be a part of this. And it just put me in like I didn't really know what mental health was then.
Yeah.
I just knew when I came back from LA, I was like, I don't know if I was still want to do music. I don't think that's plus some other stuff happened, but I'm not going to throw that artist on I'm not going to talk about any of that situation because I don't want to like create any, but when I came back from that, I just needed another place to put my creativity.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, that was summer going into August, and my they're not called guidance counselors anymore. Where are they in college?
I think they're still counselors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my counselor was just like, you need one more elective to graduate. I'm like, I need an elective to graduate. A whole marketing degree, and I need an elective to graduate, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, she was like, I don't care what it is. You just need to pick something. So I chose photography, and
nice.
it was just history after that.
Oh, they're advisors.
Advisors.
That's what it is in college,
yeah,
right?
that's right.
Yeah, yeah. Now, you still do a lot of photography today, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
your Instagram feed.
I appreciate it.
On point.
I appreciate it.
So what type of photography do you prefer? Portraits or landscape?
I'm definitely a portrait photographer. I would almost say more in the fashion realm and less of like I will do a kid's birthday party, but if it pays,
if it pays,
yeah. Right? And I'm not gonna lie, like I think I make more money from like kids' birthday parties or I don't know, family pictures and stuff, because the everyday person, they want stuff that they can print out, have forever. And no shot at models, but most of the time, if they're not coming from an agency, they're not paying you much, or they're not paying you at all.
Or it's time for print type stuff. Like
yeah,
you get some portfolio work, they get portfolio work.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I would say honestly, but the type of photos that I like to shoot are like the high fashion, the model ones, anything that deals with like being able to take it and really manipulate it, like really dive in and just do my thing with it. With kids photography, you don't want to too much mess with. You don't want to remove blemishes, and because they don't have any, right? It's just it's just fixing the colors and then sending it out. But with fashion photography, you can go all in.
You can get like really bold with the colors, the compositions. I know we were having a conversation. I feel like a couple months ago talking about like one of the first big shots that like you felt like man, this is like really it. Like the model on the dock, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that one.
So I have these moments where I shoot all of these different people, and I don't know about you. I know you guys are filmmakers, so maybe you feel the same way too. But we have film work that we do because we have to pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
But then we have those projects that we do because this is the reason why we really got into it.
Yeah.
So this photo in particular was like that. I shoot all of these things, and like, again, no offense to the clients, but I shoot all of these things that like sometimes I'm always happy with, but it's not my work.
It doesn't bring you joy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
to pay the bills.
It's a doctor's headshot, which
I
might make good money from, but it's a doctor's headshot. It's only so much you can do with it.
Right.
But this particular model, Rainey, I love Rainey. She's always down to always shoot with me. But this particular model, anytime I like just want to have fun or just want to do something else, I reach out to her or a collection of people that I know. And she's always like, yeah, just do whatever, you know what I mean, as long as it's not too crazy. So Rainey in particular, though, I like shooting with her because she's not, sometimes you shoot with people and they want to check your work. They want to see everything. They want, but Rainey's not like that. She's like, if you got what you got, then I'm happy. You know, so like I love shooting with her because of that.
There's a lot of trust.
Yeah. And this one particular time, I don't know, I just wanted to shoot something in sunlight. I just wanted to see what I could do, see what I could pull off. And we actually got it right at sunset, and this nice like warm glow sun was like hitting her skin, and it just popped. And I don't know, like I knew then that, because at first I used to question my photography, but then after shooting that, I was like, maybe it's not that I don't shoot good photos. Maybe I'm just not taking photos of what I want to shoot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So after that, I posted that, and then some other ones that I took after that, that was just, you know, me being creative and just saying, hey, let me just shoot what I want to shoot. And then it just kind of started turning into this thing where, you know, I'm getting booked all the time, and now I can't, you know, now I don't have time to like do anything anymore. But I mean, it's a blessing, but
yeah,
you know, I would have never thought when I first picked up a camera that this would be it. This would be the thing that lets me quit my job and just go do my thing. And I always thought it would be music. I thought it would be Timbaland by now, but
yeah,
it's crazy to think that like
you're young enough. There's still time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's true.
So is that your full-time gig now? Is
film and photography? Yeah.
Okay.
I would say film is the bulk of the money that I make, but
cool.
Because although I don't get them as much, that one thing could be several thousand, whereas photography is going to be a few hundred. But I have fun doing both equally, and I almost want to say, to me, photography is harder because you got to tell a story in one frame.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So yeah.
So what then led you into film and video?
People like you guys. So honestly, you know, I would work with different. I would shoot BTS for different filmmakers.
Oh, okay.
And you just out of curiosity, like, what if I switch my camera from manual photography to, you know, just auto film, just see what happened.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that turned into other things, and then that turned into. I can remember actually. I was the first time. I don't know the very first film I shot, but I know the first time I knew I was ready to be a filmmaker. I shot a Adidas Spec commercial, and it was with Shayla Mosley. And I remember us getting up at 4:00 in the morning and going out to shoot that commercial. And it's terrible direction on my end. She wore a full face of makeup. That was me. I told her, because so she's thinking like it's going to be like a product kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when she gets there, I'm like, no, we're doing like a exercise, like you're going all out kind of thing. And I don't know. So that was my fault. That wasn't her fault. It was my fault. But other than that, when we put that video out, I got so much love for it.
That's awesome.
And you know how sometimes you put stuff out and your family's like, oh, great video. And it's just like, oh, y'all supposed to say that. But I think this was the first time that I actually had people I didn't know, come and say, hey, maybe you should think about really doing this. So
awesome.
That's that recognition from strangers is a totally different feeling than like when family or close friends.
It's validation almost. It's like, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do.
And it sucks because we shouldn't be like that, right?
Yeah, right.
I should be able to take criticism from my aunt and trust her judgment. But at the same time, I don't know if my aunt should be my aunt or if she's like, you know.
She's not some stranger on the internet, you know?
Yeah.
Now, this Adidas Spec ad, you shoot this on a gimbal?
Ooh, I remember that. So that was my first video that I actually, yes. So that was my first video I actually liked. But nice. I think when I started it was Canon A6300 and a Zion crane. And is it Zion or Zion?
Man, I don't even know.
So, and Mario's gonna hate me for this because I want to say that he has some kind of partnership with Zion, but I hated that gimbal. Like I hated it. So I saved like every coin I had, and I went out and bought a Ronin M.
Oh, nice.
And I paired it with the A6300 for that shoot, and it did pretty good. It did really good.
That looks great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So yeah, that was I don't know. And then I just started shooting all kinds of stuff. Me and my girlfriend, we shot one. It wasn't a Nike ad. It was just her just doing her thing. She's a really good stylist, and she dresses really nice all the time. But we shot one, and that got a lot of buzz and a lot of attention. So I just kind of felt like maybe my thing is like fashion, Nike, Adidas, kind of that realm.
Yeah.
So like now I'm like really looking forward to like I just shot one with Cycle Bar, and I'm like, okay, Cycle Bar is going to get me to whoever, and then that's going to get me to Nike. So like now, and it might not, it may or may not, but like that's kind of where I'm trying to end up, is in that Nike territory, Adidas territory, where I'm shooting, or Gucci, Louis, or whoever, just in that territory where I can go out and shoot high fashion stuff, or not necessarily work with models all the time, but like if LeBron James wanted to do,
you're not going to turn that.
I wouldn't turn that down. For all the brand reps that are listening right now, Moise is ready for your work. Give him a call.
Yes. I would love that. I would be calling Corey and Bill to come and help me do this.
Absolutely. I'd be on board.
I'm there for you.
So I asked Corey this question because he also kind of started with photography and moved into video. What is the biggest difference? I know you sort of mentioned photography's a little more difficult because you have to tell a story in one frame. Mm-hmm. Would you say that's probably the biggest difference between the two mediums, or what kind of sets them apart for you, or makes it more challenging to do one or the other?
If we're talking technical, I think they're completely different. Because everything you learn in video, you have to unlearn for photography, and then vice versa. Because video, like, let's say you shoot 24 and you double your frame rate, photos, you try to shoot it at 50, you might have a blurry image, right? Because you got to stop that image, so you might have to shoot 1/200, 300, 400, depending on how much light you have, right? Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I just made a YouTube video about the photography triangle and
the exposure triangle.
Yeah. So it's just like, we talk about aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, and I always teach people to start with aperture, and then go from there. Like, because do you want a shallow depth of field? Do you want everything in focus? Do you want whatever? And then now you have to get your lighting right. And I would say go to shutter speed next, because shutter speed can almost save you from cranking the ISO sometimes. But video is different, right? Yeah. Video, like, especially like, let's say an A7 series or A6000 series, where if you shoot S-Log3, you have to shoot ISO 800. Mm-hmm. So now you got to go get an ND filter, and now you got to go get all these different things. So when I crossed over to video, I can remember that. I can remember putting it in S-Log3 and it jumped into ISO 800. And me being so frustrated because I did not know how to get it down to, because, in Sony, it just blocks out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is my camera broken? I'm like Googling everything, and like YouTube don't necessarily tell you how, like they just tell you why ISO 800 is good for like S-Log3.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you like why. They don't tell you, I guess they tell you why, but they don't tell you like why you're not able to use the other ones. And I'm trying to figure out, like, is my A7 III broken? Like, what is wrong with this?
Yeah.
And that's when you learn about ND filters and all this other stuff. So technically, I would say they're very different, but they can also be the same. Because when you think about lighting, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm that good with photography lighting. Like video lighting, I feel like I'm good at it. But photography lighting, I still don't feel like I'm there yet. Because I see other photographers, like I'm going to give him a shout out. He goes by Symbolic, but his name is Elijah or Anthony or Reggie. He goes by Childish Art on Instagram. I see these guys light, and they light very similar to the way we would light a video. But my brain doesn't register it like that.
Yeah.
Like when I go see them light, I'm like, that's just 3-point lighting.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but they know how to use their strobes and all these cool ways. They just create a whole scene. Like they could take and make their photography look like the scene that I'm looking at right now, where your face is like naturally lit and everything just look normal. Whereas I feel like my lighting isn't quite there yet. Uh-huh. Like I think the best lighting is a lighting that you don't question. Like when you watch a film and you don't even question the lighting.
You don't even recognize it.
You're just in it. You feel like you're in
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Me and her were just watching American Pie, and I was like, this lighting's so bad. I could literally see like harsh,
like stage lighting.
Exactly.
It's very flat and white.
It was so bad, and like they're in the club, and like I'm like, who lit this? You know what I mean? But then you watch, I don't know, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and you don't even question it.
Yeah.
Now you're just looking at like technique and angles and the way, you know. So I wish I could take that mindset that I have in video and stick it in photography and create these scenes. Cause I see, have you ever been to Hasselblad's page?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I follow them, but I also follow a lot of people. So I don't think I miss them.
The reason why I mention that is because I've never once looked at any picture on like Hasselblad's page and thought like, where's the lighting in this? You know what I mean? I always think like,
damn, that is clean.
Or like I always think like, especially, I wonder what she's gonna do next. Like, or I wonder why like where this character in this frame, where she came from or where she's going.
And so they're like, they're telling that story with the one frame.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it looks so like, and it's like I shoot photos where like the models are like, you know, really stretching their bodies out or just doing like all of these poses and stuff that like just look. And then I'll go on Hasselblad page and it's like an old lady just sitting in a rocking chair and it's lit phenomenally and it's like shot so well.
Yeah.
And it's like I would trade all of this for that.
Yeah,
and it sounds so crazy because like I don't know. Do you watch Ann? Is it Ann Leibovitz or Ann Leibovitz?
Yeah, Annie Leibovitz.
Annie Leibovitz, yeah.
So I have masterclass and she shoots Hasselblad and she shoots just like that. That's and every time I see her photos, I'm like, huh.
Oh yeah, she's worthy of being a masterclass instructor.
I mean, she's also been doing it for like
I mean, she's
decades upon decades.
True.
Like that, I talk about this all the time. Like I'm a college dropout, but I went to college for photography, and we definitely studied her techniques.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I would love to sit across the room and just watch. Like I could be the assistant, like and just watch because her execution, like my execution is getting there, right? I still, like, even when I look at my photography, and there's nothing I can really do about it because my experience level just isn't there. So once the shot is taken and I get home and I edit it, it is what it is at this point, right?
Yeah.
But I learn with each shoot that I do. I feel like I get better and better and better. But I'm still not at the point where, like, I look at, and sometimes I do. Like Rainey's photo, I look at it and I go, okay, cool. There's one.
I got it.
Yeah, there's one, right? So sometimes I do shoot one. And it's funny because Stephen Dillon, I don't know if you know Stephen Dillon.
Yeah.
Phenomenal photographer. But when I posted Rainey's photo, he said, you finally did it. And I knew, like, and Stephen shoots so well because he shoots photos like that all the time that it made me understand that, like, okay, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, like, I don't know. And it's not that he never likes or comments on my stuff, but it's particular comments that people leave you that, like, or like the post I just posted, Anthony was like, I like this one. You know what I mean? And it means so much
for me
because they execute these kind of photos all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So to hear it from them, it's like, it makes me feel good to know that, like, hey, like,
it's encouraging.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things, like, you know, you keep on with it and it's going to get better and better.
Yeah.
And, you know,
then
you're going to be that guy for somebody else.
Yeah.
That's coming up, you know.
And you know what's funny? I have so many, like, people hop in my DMs and they say, oh man, like, I feel like your photo is just shot to the moon when you bought the R5, right?
That's awesome.
Oh, what a dick move.
No. But listen though, and I used to be that guy that used to say, like, oh, cameras don't matter. I lied. The R5 is, like, amazing. That is an amazing camera. But and I feel like cameras don't matter to an extent. I feel like if you get an A6300, right, it's a crop sensor camera. You can only do so much. If you want a completely blown out background, even if you put a 70 to 200 on it, like, you're only gonna get so much out of that.
Yeah,
right?
that tiny sensor, you can only get so much depth of
Yeah.
field. Like that's how sensors work.
Yeah. So when I say cameras don't matter, I tell people this all the time. I have people to reach out to me, especially with video. They say, "Man, I just bought the A6300, or I got $6,000 to spend. What should I get?"
Oh,
and I'm like, and they're like, I'm thinking Black Magic, and I'm like, no, I'm thinking A6300s, several aperture lights, a good program and plugins, and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And they're like, why? And I'm like,
buy more lights,
dude.
Lighting is everything. It is so much.
And I'm like, and I said, I learned so wrong. I was a camera chaser forever, and like now I'm at the point where, like, don't get me wrong, I love my R5, and the reason I switched to R5 wasn't because I didn't love my A7 III.
Yeah.
It's because I use a Blackmagic, and Blackmagic uses EF lenses. So it just made more sense to buy
Just
one set of lenses,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So for me, and I worked out a deal with a real estate agent that I shoot for, I have on retainer, that was like, I can't afford Blackmagic, but can we do something in between? And I'm like, and I jokingly, I was like, we can get an R5. And she was like, how much is that? And I'm like, well, I mean, the whole thing is going to be about $6,000. What if I give you half? I'm like, let's do it.
Sign me up.
So, so that was a blessing, and that worked out in my favor. But it's not that like my Sony A7 III was incapable. It was just I realized I reached a limitation that, like, in order to use my Sigma lenses, I had to either buy a mount for my Sony, which wouldn't produce the same way because that mount isn't going to like work the way it would on a normal EF.
Yeah.
Or I had to buy Sony glass. And I don't know if you check the prices of Sony glass, but Sony glass is expensive.
Yeah, it's a hard pass for me.
Yeah.
That's why I left Sony and switched to Canon similarly. Like I couldn't keep buying Sony lenses for still photography and Canon lenses for my reds. Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So for me, it just made more sense to just be unified. And I don't know. So when people ask me that now, I just take a step back and I'm like, man, if you gave me $6,000 right now and I was a brand new filmmaker, I would totally go like Sony 6000 series, some nice lenses, some lights, a lot of lights, and I said courses. I would
courses.
I would not take $6,000 and buy a Komodo because you're gonna be so trash.
You would think about it though.
Yeah.
No. Everybody thinks about it. You know what I mean? I now, with that being said, I want a Komodo now because I understand how to use it, and I would understand it. I mean, I probably wouldn't know the buttons. I know what shutter angle is. I know what these things are. So I'm not. These are not the questions that I have right now.
That's not a beginner's camera.
Exactly.
You got to know a little bit about what you're
doing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like the advice though to like invest in yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
Like pick up those courses.
Yeah, that's great.
That looks like.
Yeah. So I literally just recommended this to a kid. He went and got the R6. And I told him it was a good buy. You know? And he got the R6, and he had a little bit more money to spend though. But I said, if you can get an R6, go ahead. But also invest in courses, invest in other things like that too, because I do. And that's the thing that y'all don't see. Y'all just see me put stuff out. I'm like, but y'all don't see me like hours and hours and hours watching masterclass and all these other little lighting courses that I watch.
That's great.
So
I don't think people do pay enough attention to that. Like, I went to film school years ago, and honestly, that was me I went, I did it. I got a degree, and now I just learn on set.
Yeah.
But I could learn a whole lot more, you know? Like, I absolutely could. And stuff's changing all the time.
Yeah.
Technology's changing.
Yeah.
The way we light and shoot, it's changing. And, you gotta stay sharp on it if you want to keep getting work. So,
and my favorite thing is like you sit at home and be like, man, I wish Aperture made a light that was like powerful, but was also RGB, but could produce a light. I mean, produce enough light that does this, and then a month later, it's like, here's the Nova 360. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
it's coming.
Like, so it's just like,
it's coming.
You can never learn enough.
Yeah,
and I'm sure like whatever I tell you today, tomorrow. Another camera, another light, another whatever will come out. But I tell people all the time, I think if you make that 6,000 stretch, it'll do you a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Then and I said
than a $6,000 camera body.
Yeah.
Don't go crazy.
Yeah, because people, should I buy the R5? No, you shouldn't. Like, not at all. Because when you have to buy a $400 Type B card, that's when the reality, and then you realize you can't even plug it in your computer because your processor isn't fast enough. Oh, you're gonna be pissed at me for telling you to go buy a $6,000 camera you can't even use.
Good luck playing back that 8K RAW.
Exactly,
8K RAW. Because it's not gonna work.
And I was just telling a kid that like I have an iMac that's like maxed out, i9 processor, like the whole 9, like and I put Canon R5 footage on it, and
it struggles, struggle bus,
and I'm like, seriously. 3,500, and then I go buy a little M1 MacBook, maxed out, no problem. That's just fine.
That's crazy.
But between the two computers, 1,800, 3,500, $6,000 camera.
Yeah,
it's like no,
that's a no-brainer.
Buy a 1,600. I mean, a 6,000 camera. Like The codex is fine. It's small enough to edit on whatever.
Or rent. I tell people that all the time.
Or
like,
rent.
Just rent.
Or rent.
You can rent mine.
That's it. Well, I mean, that's that. We talked about like the depreciation of a camera.
Oh yeah, nothing depreciates faster than a camera body.
But lighting, you keep lighting around.
Yeah.
Lighting can outlive you potentially.
Yeah.
Because
you own a light that is as old as you?
I have a Mole Richardson 1K that is, I believe, older than me. It was from the 70s, and it still works like a dream. And it will probably be in my will. Like, it's probably going to outlive me.
You know what's funny? I shoot at a studio, and he has these like older, like ARRI, HD, is it HDMI? No, HMI. HMI lights, and they're all tungsten. But and I mean, you throw these gels in front of them, make them do whatever. But I love them. The only thing I hate about it is the body gets so hot that you forget. So if you're so used to your aperture, like just cutting it off, like you can't do that. But other than that, like, the source of light, the power of light. I use it in photography sometimes.
Those things are like old muscle cars. They're just
they just keep going.
Oh, I love them. And they're so old, but like they're tanks.
Yeah, and they still go on eBay for a hefty price. The price never goes down on
5 figures, easy.
Yep.
So those are some of my favorite lights to use, and they're like ancient.
Yeah.
Yeah, lights, C-stands.
Yeah,
stands never go out of style.
Stuff to. My big investment now is like stuff to assist me in shooting. Not the camera itself, but like periphery, like monitors. I bought the Ergo rig recently to take pressure off my back when I do shoulder mount stuff. So it's just like those types of things are kind of priceless. Yeah, you know, they won't depreciate.
And believe it or not, I'm still very new into filmmaking. Like, I would say maybe this is year 3 for me.
Oh, okay.
These are the things that I'm learning now. Like, if I could start over day one knowing everything that I know now, I wouldn't have bought half the stuff I bought.
Oh, man. It took
gimbals?
me years.
I wouldn't buy no gimbal. We had tripoded it up for a year or 2, you know? Like, I learned so wrong.
Yeah.
You're figuring it out a lot quicker than I did. So you're on the right track.
I have people like Corey and Ade and people that I'm around, David, that I always like. I see David shoot some of the most amazing videos, and I don't see him pick up a gimbal one time.
No.
And I'm like, yo, this video is off the chain. And it's just like, where's the gimbal? And he's like, I don't have a gimbal. I just use sliders and tripods or just my feet, you know, like.
Yeah,
and
I'm a big shoulder mount guy.
Yeah.
Like that's how I learned.
It takes some work, but you can definitely perfect a smooth, like handheld or shoulder rigged move. And sliders.
Sliders are excellent.
Yeah. Oh.
The unsung hero.
Yeah, I love sliders.
Some of my favorite. Like, I think, honestly, my next purchase are probably gonna be more lights, but my purchase I really want is a dolly system because you know how many times I've sat on set and been like, man, I wish I had a dolly right here.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can walk forward with a gimbal, right? But that smooth pushing, and you can do like we can go and post and do a zoom in, right? But
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
We shot the whole Lewis Short video with Jimmy Allen, Lewis Short. We shot it with on dolly.
Yeah, I would love to talk about that project. That's a good transition. Like we've talked a lot about your photography, but I think that's one of your more recent, bigger video projects, right?
Yeah.
And I'll link to the video in the show notes, but I would love to hear kind of how that whole project came together. Like how did that project fall in your lap? And that's not giving you enough credit for the work to get it, but then all the production and the shoot day and everything. Would love to hear the story behind that one.
I know everybody isn't a religious person, so if you're not religious, just use universe, right? So, but honestly, I would like that was like God, because there's a woman that does makeup. She goes by Muse, Brittany Muse, and me and Brittany Muse, we kind of bump heads sometimes, you know, because sometimes we don't see the same creative, like, and she's a genius in her own creative rights, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes like, you know, so the fact that she reached out to me one day and was like, hey, you know, I work with this group, the Shandellas, I want you to come shoot their music video. And I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I kind of know the Shandellas, but not really, right? So we go out, we shoot their music video. It's a good music video. Does really good numbers or whatever. But Louis Shork is sitting on set. I don't know who Chuck Harmony and Clyde Kelly is. I have no idea who these guys are, right?
Yeah.
I'm turning around. I'm like, okay. Because, sometimes you shoot music videos, right? And there's these backup guys that you don't know who they are. Sometimes they're annoying because they try to tell you what you should be doing. And sometimes they don't say anything at all.
Sometimes they're just there, like just friends hanging out.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking is going on. I don't know who these guys are, right? And then I get invited to the studio. And then it's like I'm having a sit down meeting with them about the Shandella's video. And they're like, we think we might want you to shoot our next video. Again, I don't know who these guys are.
Yeah.
Right. So then I go to the first room in their studio. Like, I'm like, okay, it looks like this. And then I go walking up the steps to their other studio upstairs. I see plaques for Miley Cyrus and Michael Jackson and Neo and like all of these major like superstars. Bruno Mars, like they wrote Party in the USA.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going upstairs and I'm like, dang, you did Pretty Girl Rock by Carrie Hilson. I'm like starstruck. Again, I don't know who these guys are.
Yeah.
And then they introduce themselves as Chuck Harmony and Clyde Kelly. So, me, I'm like.
Google it real fast.
Yeah.
They did what? They
That's
wrote
awesome.
for who? So it's just mind blowing. And it's like, we have this song, Teach Me a Song. And it's featuring Jimmy Allen and Caroline Randall Williams. Another person, I had no idea who she was. I got to the video. I heard her voice in the song. I never Googled her, though. Yeah. I heard her voice. Got to the video shoot. She was the first scene. And I'm like, who is this lady? I Google her. She's up on CNN. She's popping up everywhere. Big time poet, big time writer, big time everything. Like, I think I want to say she's written several books. She got a few coins, you know what I mean? Like, she's done some things, and I'm just completely like blown away by their accomplishments. I have no idea who these people are beforehand, right?
Yeah.
So, so the Shandella, Brittany Muse led me to the Shandellas. The Shandellas led me to Louis Shork, and then Louis Shork led me to Jimmy Allen. So like it was just one of those things where I think.
All the right doors open.
Yes, at the same time.
Yeah.
It was
That's
like,
awesome,
and it was enough people on set that day that like, they see me work, they see me do my thing. So one of the things that they said to me was like, we like your music video because, you took a different approach to it. You didn't come in with like just subpar ideas. You tried to elevate them a little bit. You know what I mean? And I love the way you worked. I love how confident you were on set. Even when you messed up. You still made whatever happened happen. Yeah. Like I literally, my Black Magic and I don't know something. A gimbal. I tried to use a gimbal.
It's gonna get you every time.
And the Ronin S. No shot to DJI. I love their products, but it just crapped out on me. I was like, I don't even care. I literally I took it off. They're free. Like they like, is everything good? I'm like, yeah, no worries. I pop it off. I build the cage back out. I'm like, let's go, let's do this. I'm handheld and I don't care, So I'm going. They pay me X amount of dollars. I cannot not shoot this video, right? So I'm like, okay. So I think that was the last time I was like, I'm not using a gimbal anymore. I still use one every now and then. I still like my R5. I'll throw it on a gimbal for certain shots. But like the rest of the music video, like I'm handheld, I'm sweating bullets because I'm nervous. But like at the same time, I'm like, I cannot just blow this money. They just paid me to come shoot this music video, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I want to execute it because sometimes you get music videos where these kids will be like, oh, here's a couple $100, no location, no like their song is about money. There's not $1 bill, and it's like, and it's no shot at them. I understand that sometimes you just kind of got to do what you can afford, right? And it's funny because I just heard a verse from J. Cole that said, I would respect it more if you rapped about being a broke rapper. Because then it's like, I understand your struggle.
I feel that.
So if your video was like low budget, we get it because you're rapping about being a broke rapper. But anyway, that's not the point. So I just remember, them saying, hey, send us a treatment. No, we're going to send you the song, write a treatment for us, let us know, and I did all of that and I sent it in. They like, oh, we love it. And it's like, when can you shoot this thing? So I'm calling David and Ade. I'm like, hey, I called you too. I'm like, I called Corey. I'm like, hey, can you cam up? He's like, no, I got something on that day. So all right. I'm calling Ade. I'm like, because I'm the type of person that like, if I don't know, I know somebody around me does know, right? Network. So like, I'm not gonna like say no. Well, I can't pull this out. Like they want to shoot in Franklin Theater, right? Huge space. Yeah, they're wanting this light and the way this looks and this looks and this looks. So I'm going home doing my research. I'm like, who's the guy that runs the stage lights? Oh, DMX. Cool. Can we get a DMX guy? You know what I mean? Like, that's me. Like, I'm like calling David. Like, do you know any DMX guys?
Just producing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just wearing all the hats, right? And then I'm like, David, yo, can you DP it for me? And then he's like, oh, I would love to DP it for you. But come on, man, we're shooting Jimmy Allen. We can't show up in there with no signal lenses. Corey, can I get some of your cinema? Like I'm just calling around, and I'm like, oh man, we need lights. Ade, can you bring all every light that you own? Because like he has all these lights now, so I'm like, can you just bring every light that you own? And we pulled it off, and they really love what we did for them, and it really came out good, and I learned a lot that day. I have my matte boxes through a company called Polar Pro, and I would say it's more for the beginning filmmaker matte box. But we had his Orange Tangerine matte box, and it was just I loved it. Yeah. And you know how you use things and you're like,
you start thinking about.
I was going to buy this. I was going to buy this class, but I think I might. But anyway, but yeah, so I was able to pull it all together, and we shot them, and I don't know, that led us to.
I watched that video this morning. It's beautiful.
Oh,
it looks great.
Thank you. Now, looking back on it, and it's so funny because I was almost a year ago, and looking back on it now, there's so many things I would have done differently, but I didn't understand at that time. Yeah. I mean, I literally went from Sony A7 III to Blackmagic overnight. So it's just I got to figure this out. So, and I'm glad David was there to DP it for me because he does use Blackmagic all the time. Yeah. But now looking back, there's so many things I would have done differently. I paid a guy to color grade it because I didn't know how to color grade. Mm-hmm. So now I know people that can color grade really well, and I would have just sent it off to one of them to have it color grade. No, nothing against the guy that did color grade it, and now he's doing even better work, and I'm glad he's able to still get clients and still do what he does. But there's so many things I would do differently now, like just, oh man, even execution. Yeah. But with that being said, for me and I think we had 3 weeks to put that whole video together for me to call around and make all that happen. So for me to be able to do that, learn Blackmagic in that time, and then show up on set, and they were like, oh, you full of confidence. I remember K. Michelle saying she's like, I like him. He's full of confidence. I'm like, you guys have no idea how scared I am.
Fake it till you make it.
You know what I'm saying? Fake it till you make it. I'm looking at my childhood crush, Maya, like, wow, this is Maya.
And I remember when I first saw the video, I think after you said it, or maybe we were talking about it before it was done. And I was like, who was on set?
Yeah. And it's so funny because I told her she was my childhood crush. You know what I mean? And you know how you get the, what's the friend zone thing? And it wasn't. I wasn't trying to make a pass at her or nothing like that. But it was just.
You meant it as a compliment.
Yeah. She was like, "Oh, that's cute," and just kind of walked away.
Boom.
And it was just like, "Oh, that's cool." I got blown off by Maya. You know what I mean? And
that's a badge of honor.
Right. And I don't think she was blowing me off or anything like that. I think she was just so busy and had other things going on that she just really didn't have time for small talk, especially with somebody she didn't really know. But it was just really cool, like meeting Maya and meeting K. Michelle and Jimmy Allen and all these different people.
That's an incredible opportunity. That's awesome.
Man, and then Caroline Randall Williams, like I didn't know her, who she was, so I didn't really talk to her as much. But when I went and like researched her, I seen she did a lot of stuff with the Black Lives Matter movement and all of these different things, and she has a big voice in our community, and I didn't know. So it was. So now looking back, it's just like, had I done my research stepping in, oh man, I would have gave Caroline Randall Williams a bigger piece. We probably would have shot something like more epic for her, But I think for what it was, I was really happy with it, and for us to be able to pull that off and like work with those like that level of talent. Yeah. Oh, it was, and then they taught me so much.
Well, I gotta say, like you said, maybe if I'd researched more, I'd do a bigger thing for or whatever. Like I don't know if that's always the case with everybody, because I've worked with Billy Bob Thornton a few times on stuff, and he's Mr. A-list Academy Award winning actor, and he loves working on smaller, no BS.
Yeah.
Like he does the Hollywood thing. That's his day job, but he loves working with scrappy indie Nashville filmmakers.
Yeah.
That's such a breath of fresh air for him. So we never tried to go too hard with him.
Yeah.
Just because he's Billy Bob Thornton, like because he wanted the down home bunch of guys hanging out and doing a low budget thing. Like he wanted that.
I would almost say though, and I realized this working on a set with Corey. We just shot a music video, and I realized this, like my talent level probably isn't where you guys is at. So what you think is like scrappy and whatever is probably will be my peak, because I'm just not there yet, and I'm okay with admitting that, right? Because I'm still very young and very new into it. Because I'm on a set with Corey the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, you probably want to pull that to stop 8 and do this," and he nailed it without even like I'm over here like, "How are you doing that? Like, how do you know how far away she is from the camera?" But I understand that like the more and more you're on set, and the more and more you do, and the experience that you guys have. Like there's, as Meek Mill would say, there's levels to it, right? Because it really is, because like, I watch guys like, I don't know, I was watching some BTS on Ryan Coogler, and he shot Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And I'm just watching BTS on him, and like I see him interacting, I also see him DPing, I also see him playing producer. I also see him like wearing all these different hats.
He comes from that indie world.
He's
used to that.
Man.
Yeah.
And it's just my, like we just watched I thought the movie was kind of corny, but I still like I don't know. You ever watch a movie that was like bad, but you still enjoyed it? Like you still enjoy like the outcome of it.
Yeah.
The Zack Snyder, not the Justice League, the zombie one he just put out.
Oh yes, Army of the Dead.
Yeah,
that's brand new.
Did you watch it? Have you watched all the behind the scenes stuff with it?
Oh, I did.
Money.
Oh,
he gets in there, doesn't he? Zack Snyder,
he doesn't get enough credit.
So the things I didn't like about his film wasn't so much of like it being poorly shot, but it's just some of the shot selections. Like, why are you shooting that tight? Or why are you shooting with an aperture that low? Like, it was sometimes where David Bautista, just his whole side of the face was just completely out of focus. Because whoever was pulling focus, I guess they were trying to shoot it like 1:4.
Yeah. No, so here's the thing. So Zach, if you're a camera nerd or a lens nerd, there are these old Canon Dream lenses that were manufactured for a short period of time in Japan, and their max aperture is 0.95.
Oh wow!
So part of like what gives them the name the Dream lens is that 0.95. The bokeh is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
But then your depth of field is, or your focus plane is so fractional, like it's insane. But so he had these two lenses that he says this in one of the behind the scenes videos, like spent months on eBay finding like the perfect two lenses that would match, and then sent them off, had them rehoused. Yeah. And he on purpose shot the entire film at 0.95.
Oh, okay.
So that
makes sense now.
Similar to the Snyder Cut introduction of like, this is presented in 4:3 to preserve Zack Snyder's creative vision.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that he was so like gearhead about cameras.
Oh man,
I love his energy.
There's the awesome, Netflix Film Club, I think is the name of the YouTube channel. Yeah. It's all their Netflix behind the scenes like promotional content.
Yeah,
there are two different Zack Snyder pieces available there that go over the Army of the Dead work, and then if you have Netflix, there's a Netflix behind the scene, like the making of Army of the Dead on Netflix. But the two YouTube videos are fantastic, and he totally nerds out. Like even one portion of it, he has Jared Land on from Red, like they're at Studio 4 with Jared talking about his custom builds, and they talk about the lenses, and it was wild to like if you don't slow down and like get to know him and his process and like the work that went into that, you could easily think like he's just like a totally blown out of proportion filmmaker that.
Just what I think, quite honestly. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
But hearing about how like he gets all up in there and is like heavily involved, I feel different about him already.
Yeah. And like he shared, you know, like some of the lighting choices were really on purpose in regards to like they wanted a couple of the scenes, they're lit almost entirely with flashlights and they're like in these dark spots. And he talked about like this. And I remember seeing this in one of the behind the scenes clips. I'm like, why does he have a flashlight taped to the front of the camera? And it wasn't pointing at the actor. It was pointing straight up at the ceiling. So what they did to preserve and give as much like creative freedom for the camera to move in and out of the shots is they actually put a white bounce above everyone. And then because he wanted all the lighting to match, they all had the same flashlights. And he would just shoot a light directly up to bounce and give a nice even bounce back down.
Whoa.
Like, holy shit. Like this dude is like indie filmmaker with a massive budget.
Yeah. It really is. It really, and watching his BTS, like I had a lot more respect for what was going on. I mean, because even when you think about like the Las Vegas scene, right? And, you know, like they literally went out and got destruction and created that. They got broken signs and like concrete and all of these different things, and they created the things that they walked on. Like the buildings and stuff, of course, were.
He said anything they interacted with, they created practically.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then everything else, they had a crew for like 14 days or something. They were, whether it was drone, helicopter, or they were up in lifts, they were taking 3D rendered.
Yeah.
Like I think they used LiDAR. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, they did.
But they basically took like real time 3D rendered shots of all of Vegas to then use to recreate in post.
Yeah, and
that's
see,
awesome.
and that's the type of stuff that like, you know, makes me, I guess, appreciate the film more. It's like when I watch it the first time, it's like this is a shot, dude. He's out of focus. Like this is
give me that budget.
Exactly right. But then when you like again when I'm on Louis York's set, right? You know, I know and I appreciate the love that I've gotten for that video, right? And you know, I really didn't know what I was doing, but I made it happen, and I did what I had to do to just drive home what they wanted, right? But when you think about filmmakers in that light. Like people love the video that I put out, but they didn't see me on set.
Yeah,
they didn't see me direct. Like I'm literally cueing everybody when they come in and doing all these different things. And they did. So, you know, it's easy to watch a film and then tear it down, or uplift it. You know, but to actually see all the things that went into making that film and bringing it home, like I made fun of the AC on that film. But you should have seen me trying to AC one of my music videos. It was,
I wasn't going to say anything.
I was terrible. Yeah, so
you couldn't have done any better.
And I was going to say, and I was shooting F4. So So this AC is at 0.95. So like, I have a lot more respect for what was going on in that film. But I didn't think it was a bad film. I thought it was funny. Like
it was entertaining.
It was very entertaining. I love the music choice. I like how how most like zombie movies is very.
I mean, they're a genre.
It's very like, I don't know, nuke about to go off kind of sound, and it's very army, like I don't know, Dunkirk type of vibe.
Yeah.
But this one is like. No, it's like all rock and roll, just fun and just, you know what I mean? Like things are blowing up, zombies are biting into people, and it's like fun, happy music playing. And like, I love that. I thought that was
cool. I want to watch it.
Yeah. It was good. You should check it out.
Yeah. I still have to watch the Snyder cut.
Oh, it's long.
Justice League.
I was just watching them in parts like I did. I watched them in parts.
I did not like the Whedon cut at all.
I don't.
So I'm kind of like,
I don't like Justice League at all. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's all trash.
Yeah,
I like the Wonder Woman movies, but I think I didn't like 84, but
I haven't seen it still.
But I think Christopher Nolan is probably the only like that DC stuff that I ever was even into.
Yeah,
like his whole Batman series. Like,
Yeah,
other than that,
it's money.
Yeah, other than that, then the Joker. I love that movie so much. I actually bought the Blu-ray.
I don't think that counts though. Like that's such
Joker?
It's such a departure from every other.
Not that Joker. The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Oh,
Dark Knight.
yeah.
That one.
movie. Yeah. You want to talk about a master class in filmmaking?
Yeah.
And just everything: performance, story, cinematography, editing.
Everything.
Every time I watch that movie, I'm just like, this is a master work, beginning to end.
And you know what I loved about it the most? You didn't know who the villain was, because think about it. How much Joker cleaned the streets?
Yeah.
He did a whole lot. Now I'm not saying everything he did was right, but he literally brought the crime rate down.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, you got to knock off a couple good people to keep the streets safe. I mean,
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, I love this movie because it's like, if you sided with either one, it's like you could still be right,
Right.
So, oh man, he did a fantastic job.
I like that. That's your perspective on that. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what we talked about a lot already. If we could, let's see. And I know, like, you're still super humble in all the great work that you've done up until now, which is respectable.
You know why?
Yeah.
You ever seen Max Goldman? You ever watch his? Okay, did you see the LeBron James commercial that he just put out?
I
don't know if it's Gatorade or.
wonder if that's the one Miko was
Pepsi.
talking about.
Pepsi. No, they just made Mountain Dew. LeBron James just made a Mountain Dew commercial. So Max Goldman shoots all of these like really high level dope like commercials. He's a DP.
Yeah.
He does amazing work. And the reason, like, people say, oh, you're always so humble about your work. I don't think that is I'm humble. I think y'all don't know the guys I look up to.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, that's cool. But then and when I say this, it's not me looking at Max Goldman stuff and comparing my stuff. He's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So like I would, that would be even disrespectful to even do that, right? It's me looking at his stuff and thinking, I need to focus more on my lighting. I need to get my actual focus down.
Yeah.
I need to pay attention to the way that I shoot characters, like making them look powerful, making them look sad, making them look weak. Like, he does that really well. I need to focus on some of the shot. Like, he did a Nike Adidas commercial, and he followed the soccer ball as they were kicking it through the hall on the way to the stadium. And I thought that was, like, so nicely done, the way he, like, executed some of those shots.
Yeah.
Even he had one soccer player, like, run down the hall, kick the ball off the wall, and run up the wall to go around the security guard.
I think I've seen that one. Yeah.
Oh, that was so cool. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
And so when I look at when I'm humble about my work, it isn't that I don't think my work is good, or it isn't that like I'm comparing myself to Max Goldman or Ryan Coogler or Zack Snyder or any of these people. It's that I'm looking at their work and thinking that was a good idea, or be more creative. The reason why Ryan Coogler is Ryan Coogler because he's super creative, right? Yeah. He does things like, you watch Black Panther, right? And you know it's a mystical story and Wakanda doesn't exist and there's no vibranium.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't even watch it and think about that. You just watch it and think, this is well executed.
Like, this is a good story.
Depending on if you like it or not, right?
Yeah.
You think, this is well executed. All right, have you ever seen the movie Parasite?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Watch it, please.
One
of my favorite movies.
I've not seen a lot of what we've talked about.
Forget the Zack Snyder stuff. Go home and watch Parasite. Yeah. Go home and watch Parasite.
It's on my list.
And it's not like overly done or anything.
Yeah.
It's something that you could pull off. Anybody could pull off. But it's just one of those films that, like, the story in it and the shot selection and the way that they lit it and the way that it's executed was so good that it makes you like, huh. What am I, like, you know, and again, it's not me comparing my stuff to theirs and thinking, like, I'm not doing good. It's me comparing my stuff to theirs and thinking, I need to get out here.
Aspire to that.
I need to get out here and do stuff.
Yeah.
Because if this is a #1 film, and I have ideas that's like maybe not this movie, but I have ideas that, because, you know, sometimes we think about film and we like, oh, this was work. Nobody will like this.
Yeah.
Because it's too simple. It's not cool enough.
Yeah.
But then you watch Napoleon Dynamite several times.
Yes.
And then you think, oh, this was shot on like this budget,
Yeah,
and it grossed this,
yep,
Yeah.
and this was the result, and then it makes you think like there's a story for everybody. And so when I compare, it's like, so when I look up to Zack Snyder or whoever, Roger Deakins, whoever, right? Mm-hmm. It's not me saying, oh, my stuff isn't good or I'm not there yet. It's me saying, you know, I'm inspired. Yo, like you're seeing what I was comfortable enough with showing you. You're not seeing the stuff that I tell Corey that I really want to shoot, right? And this is the stuff that like, so when I'm humble about my stuff, it's like the Adidas commercial is what I really wanted to shoot, right?
Yeah.
And even though it wasn't the greatest, especially looking back at it now, like some stuff I would change. Even though it was the greatest to me at the time because it was something I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so when I see these kids put their work out and they're amazing, it's like it's not so far fetched. It's just that they did what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, in a sense. And I don't know how much control Max Goldman had over some of these commercials that he shot, but watching his commercials back to back to back on like Vimeo, I realized he has a lot of input because they look very similar to the
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can tell why they chose him for, like, even watching somebody that's, I think Sam Coder, in a sense, he's a good filmmaker. He's not a Ryan Coogler, but even when you watch his stuff, you realize this kid makes exactly what he wants to make every single time, and that's why he has so much success.
And I think that's why it's so good because
that too. But I mean, success in his work. Yeah. So that's where like my humbleness comes from. Yeah. It's like, oh, you love my Psycho Bar commercial, great. That's not what I really wanted to do. Yeah. I was just doing the stuff that they wanted me to do. Or you like my music video, great. That's not what I really wanted to do. But there's nothing stopping me from going out and shooting another Psycho Bar commercial spec-wise and then saying, this is what I could have done for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, and so, exactly.
It's well, we talk about a lot, like, just create.
Yeah,
just go out there and create.
Exactly.
You know, don't let anything hold you back. Only thing that can really hold you back is yourself.
Exactly.
Just go out there and make something.
So that's where my humble spirit comes from, because I have so many ideas in this brain.
Yeah.
Like the video we shot the other day, that was like, though it's 2021. That's probably one video out of the hundreds I've shot this year already.
Oh wow.
That I was like, okay, this is me.
That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying? And everything else is like real estate. Yeah, commercial. This is what they want me to do.
And those things pay your bills, though.
They do. And I mentioned that at the beginning. I'm not mad at it. Because sometimes we just got to do that.
Yep.
The Nike came. If I did finally get that chance with Nike, right? And they were like, "Oh, we're gonna pay you $100,000 to go shoot a kid in Brazil." I'm like, kid in Brazil? I want to shoot LeBron James. You know, so it's just
but you would use that money then to fund what you want to do.
Exactly.
It's the stepping stone kind of
exactly.
thing.
And that's where my mindset has to be.
Yeah.
It's like, even if I am shooting a kid in Brazil, I need to make this commercial look just as special if I was shooting LeBron James.
Yeah.
And that's the energy that, like, when I say, like, I'm not shooting what I want all the time, I need to show up to Psycho Bar and just have that confidence and not look at them like a bigger company than me, but look at them like, this is what I can bring to you and bring to your brand and show the world, like, what I can do with your brand.
Yeah.
Instead of saying,
sell it. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of looking at it and going, oh, wow, I get to shoot Psycho Bar. This is amazing. And then stopping right there.
Yeah.
I need to have that much confidence and say, I've shot a couple videos. Step in my office.
Let me knock it out of the park.
Let me talk to you about what we can really do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, if even with all that humility and that level of humbleness, if, let's say, you know, like these kids that are hitting you up on Instagram, like, hey, what should I spend my money on? What kind of gear should I buy? If you could give just one piece of advice to somebody that's making the transition into video, getting started completely from scratch, like, what's that one, like, little golden nugget you would want to make sure they walk away with?
Creativity. Go out and be as creative as you want to be. Like, I wouldn't care. I would rather watch you take your iPhone and be super creative than to spend $10,000 on a camera you don't know how to shoot with and struggle because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
just create.
Yes. Just create. Because it will come. And I literally seen kids, like, child, she shoots all kind of video. I ain't seen her pick up one camera yet, but she's so creative, and she does what she does so well that people, you find the Corys, you find the Bills, you find the David Pearsalls, you find these people that will shoot these things for you.
Well, creativity is an exercise, like just like fitness, you know, like you're as long as you're flexing that muscle, you're going to get sharper and sharper, and you know.
But I say that, have you ever thought back at a time where you felt like you watched your old videos, even though they were trash?
Yes, Bill. Have you?
I have recently,
and just thought, dang, I was a lot more creative then, because you remember being on set like, I don't have.
I think about like, wow, I was way more ambitious than my resources allowed me to be.
Maybe the ambitious is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe, be more ambitious.
Because I did a short film that I haven't mentioned it by name on the podcast yet, but I've knocked it a few times in passing, and it wasn't what I wanted it to be, and it's because I didn't have the resources I needed to make my vision happen the way it needed to. But I did what I could with what I had.
And emotionally, how did you feel watching it?
I saw it for the first time in a number of years just last night. And I was like, you know, for what I had, this was a good attempt.
So take that ambition, that creativity, and that love that you had when you began, and now put a red with it.
Yeah.
This is why
I could totally do a remake of that.
Exactly. So, take the knowledge that you have now and put it with. Yeah. So this is why I mentioned this. So I guess the word wasn't creativity; it's ambition.
Yeah.
Yes. Continue to be ambitious, because I watch my old videos, and I remember shooting this one music video for a kid. His name is dang, I can't remember his name. I know his real name. I'm trying to think of his rap name. Spliff. So I was shooting the music video for Spliff, and we were out there all day. I had no idea what I was doing. I had just got the A6300, and I'm not gonna lie, like, it turned out as good as it was gonna turn out with the knowledge that I knew.
Yeah.
But I had so much fun. Like, I wasn't worried about, like, if I shot in the wrong frame rate, oh well. If I didn't light this correctly, oh well. If I didn't, and I just used what I had. Like, I was even like I didn't have softboxes then. And I had these terrible like panel lights that you just, you know, the first lights you buy.
Oh yeah.
And I just turned it at a white wall, and I just shot out the white wall, and it just kind of created this nice soft. Or I just opened the blinds and then had them turn towards the blinds so they could get nice soft light. And I could just remember, I was just thinking about like, oh man, I didn't have no 300D then. I didn't have no 120. I wasn't, you know, I couldn't. I didn't know what shutter angle was then. Like, I probably shot this all out of the wrong frame rate, but we made it work, you know. And it was even a scene where I start the drone from the ground, and the drone goes up in the air slow motion. And on the porch, it's like his homeboys are gambling, and it's like one dude on the phone, and it's just like this other kid is like playing with the dog, and it goes up in slow motion, and then you don't even know Spliff is up on the roof, and he's just up on the roof, just kicking back, just kind of like dreaming, and literally just the drone just goes up.
Yeah,
and they're like. And I don't know what I'm doing. I just know I see the shot and I love it.
Yeah.
And all these kids are like, yo, you were in a dolly? You did that? You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, what's a dolly? I don't even know what that is. They're like, bro, how did you did you plan that? I'm like, no. He was up there. I didn't even know he was up there. We just
worked out.
That was a test shot with my drone.
Yeah. That's a happy accident.
The shot was actually supposed to. I didn't know he was up there yet. The shot was actually supposed to be a pull away shot. I've seen Sam Coder do a pull away shot before, and I wanted to just do a super wide shot with him pulling away. And I just flew my drone. I didn't know what I was doing, and they so happened to be already down there, like just in character. And I didn't know Spliff was already up there, just waiting on me. So he was just sitting up there, just chilling, laid back on the roof, waiting on me. And I just flew it up, and it was just one shot. And I think at the time, this was like when my Instagram, it does okay, but. At the time, I think I did. This was the first time I had ever like reached like 150 likes or something, and I had so many comments and all these DMs. Like, it was the first time that people actually like was like, "Yo," like me getting questions. I didn't know what. Like, did you use a dolly? What frame rate did you shoot that at? Oh man, that looks amazing. Yeah. Did you do? I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Just leave them on red.
Like, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that was a really cool shot and a really good idea on accident, but I don't know. It made me so happy.
Yeah.
And I look back at it now and I still think, yo, this was this was executed. Like even now, I'm like, oh yeah, this was well executed. Like this was, and you did it on accident. So I don't know. I say keep your spirits and ambition high because I think sometimes I shoot these videos and I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore, you know. And
it happens to all of us.
And then I shoot videos and I'm just like, oh, this is the one.
This is why I'm in it.
This Nike's about to call me after this one. You know, so, you know. So I would say, I guess I'll switch creativity to ambition.
Yeah, stay ambitious.
Yeah, stay ambitious.
Just keep shooting. Like take risks.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
Yeah, just and use an ND filter.
yeah.
I see so many like
buy an ND filter.
I thought about making a video about that on my YouTube. ND filters. You know how many kids send me their stuff, and I'm like, yo, your whole video would change if you just screwed the ND filter on your because their background's completely blown from when they're trying to crank the shutter speed or crank the aperture all the way up.
Yeah.
So like everything's in focus, but it's blown out.
Yeah.
Because they don't have an ND filter, and it looks so cringy to watch. It's like hearing a song that's not mixed. You know, it's just like I can't get past the first scene because it's just so ND filters, please buy ND filters. It'll save your life.
That is a great piece of advice.
Yeah. You could even buy that Peter McKinnon with the Pro Mist built in.
You could.
Peter, we're looking for a brand deal.
I wish he was.
Wear the shirt
in his backpack. Yeah.
Yeah. Backpacks, ND filters, whatever you want to send us.
Polar Pro, just come holler at us.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
All right, Moise, you ready for this lightning round?
Yeah.
No, we did. Hey,
we don't have an intro still.
You could potentially produce us. We need like a good intro, just like a big sting.
Like a lightning round.
Where we say like lightning round and push the button and it's like just, I don't even know. Pew, pew, pew.
Probably. If you send me an idea of like what you're looking for, I probably could.
I'm a little disappointed. Your first response should have been, "What's your budget for that?"
Well, I haven't made music in so long.
Yeah.
I'm kind of afraid to like give you something that I don't trust or I'm not confident in. Yes,
I think I'm going to Fiverr.
I think
I'm going the Fiverr route
eventually,
or John Bailey. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But for now, lightning round. That's all we get. All right.
Yeah.
Moise, all-time favorite movie.
Can I name several?
I guess so.
Not in any particular order, but the reason why, and they're not the best movies in the world, but they're ones I resonate with really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood, Forrest Gump. I know that sounds crazy. Anything Iron Man, because I think like the genius level of him is just cool.
Yeah.
But and then Friday, I would say just the first one maybe.
Just the first one?
Yeah, just the first one. The other two are cool, but the first one is the one that's like, and the reason being is because like I knew his limitations.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Napoleon Dynamite. I knew his limitations, and he was still able to pull off a movie. I still watched it.
That was a low budget movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, those movies. So Boys in the Hood, Forrest Gump, Friday, anything Iron Man.
Yeah,
probably.
But if you had to pick only one, could you? Like if you get that password question, like the password reset question, like your favorite movie.
Yeah.
What do you put in?
The recovery question or whatever they call it. The secret question.
Probably Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
Probably Boys in the Hood. I think I know that movie like word for word.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah.
Okay. I remember the first time I ever watched Boys in the Hood. I was obviously much younger.
John Singleton.
Yeah. It's good. Good storytelling.
But it's not the most, and again, these movies aren't the most well put together. Forrest Gump is pretty good, well put together, but these movies aren't the most well put together movies. Like I know he had limitations too.
That was his first. Was that his first feature, John Singleton?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It was one of his early movies.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
But I just know, like growing up where I grew up at, I resonate a lot with a lot of that. Like I've literally seen my friend get killed in front of me. So like I resonate a lot with that movie because I've seen a lot of that stuff happen.
Yeah.
Seen crackheads go up and down the street.
Yep.
All of these different things. So it's not much. It's not so much of a like this movie was shot well and composed. Not like Parasite. Parasite was really well done, right? It's more of a I can relate to this 100%.
I think that's like filmmaking has so many different aspects, and probably the most important is the ability for the filmmaker's story to translate in a way that, exactly to your point, like I can see myself in that story, or like that resonates with me. That is absolutely my story.
And to me, that makes that movie a big success.
Yeah.
Because you resonate with it.
Yeah.
That's a filmmaker that has succeeded, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
And then Forrest Gump a close second, because it's just like a special need kid that's like, he don't even realize how rich he is. Like, you know what I mean? Like all of these things that he tapped into throughout the movie and started, and oh man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
All right. The last movie that you watched.
Oh, we just watched American Wedding today. It was terrible.
Seriously?
Yes, me and Lex watched it right before we came here. It was god awful. We watched the Zack Snyder movie.
If you want to retract your American Wedding statement.
So let's say Zack Snyder.
Yeah. I love how you named all these great movies and just now, and then American Wedding is the last one I watched, and it sucked.
So listen, we watched the. If you ever watched a movie that's like, it's so hardcore and so intense, and then you just want to watch something that just makes no sense
just
at all.
Something to just completely flush the brain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what the American Wedding was. It is.
All right,
so
I'll give you
bad.
that. That's
so
good.
bad.
Yeah.
That'll work. All right. Your all-time favorite director?
I really like a lot of. Is it John Favreau?
Favreau.
Yeah, I love a lot of his, and I never really thought about it until you just asked me. But when I think about all the movies that I like, even his food truck movie was like good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's turned that into a Netflix series.
Yeah, I've seen that,
which is amazing.
Yeah. So it's just like probably him.
Yeah.
Like in a crazy way, probably him.
That's fair.
Or maybe the Russo brothers or something. I don't know, but him. Because he did the Mandalorian, right?
Yeah. He kicked off Iron Man, showrunner.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was the showrunner, but
I feel like Favreau is very underrated.
Yeah,
nobody talks a lot about him, but man, he basically birthed the formula for the Marvel universe.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah.
He did.
Because he kicked that thing off with Iron Man.
Yeah, he did.
And he knocked it out of the park.
And then he's always a producer on like all of the other ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he's always around. Yeah. So
yeah.
And then I don't know. I would probably say Ryan Coogler second, just because I think Ryan does a lot of things that are not Spike Lee. Like when I so and it's funny. So I know a lot of times people say, Spike. I'm trying to think of the guy that's on. He did one of the episodes for The Mandalorian. Spike. I can't remember his name, but Spike Lee stuff. It's funny because I see everything like, everything I see now is based. It looks like his stuff, like the pro mist filters being bloomed all the way up. You know what I mean? Like all the black content that I'm seeing go down my timeline. Yeah. It looks like Spike Lee inspired stuff, like the sitting in the field with like the pro mist filter on your camera, or whatever like that. Or I just seen a video the other day where like they have all the plants hanging and stuff like that, and then the cutaway was like auntie and like holding a nephew or something, or it was like grandmother, and like how Spike Lee does his movies and he does a cutaway and he'll play like his favorite song or something like that from his playlist, and it's just like I don't know, it's just two ladies sitting on the bench park smiling at each other, just in like an awkward way or something like that. Yeah. And then even like his shot style and selection, I'm seeing it everywhere. Right. So that's why I said not like Spike Lee, but I like Spike Lee, but I think Ryan Coogler has done films that I probably would want to do. Like Black Panther, I want to shoot Black Panther at like 4.
Wouldn't we all?
I'm just saying though, like, but I guess what I'm saying is like, if Spike Lee shot Black Panther, would we like it?
Good question.
Because we seen him shoot that other movie and I didn't like it. The one on Netflix about the army men.
Yeah.
The one where they go to find they walking over the mines and stuff.
Oh,
I thought that was terrible. And I hate to say that, but
it's
I
just
thought that
like
was terrible.
Well, I mean, some filmmakers really have a specific thing that they're great with.
Yeah, so would you want to see Spike Lee shoot a Black Panther movie?
I think just out of curiosity, I think it'd be interesting.
I would be interested to see what that looks
That's like the Quentin Tarantino Star Trek movie, like people
Oh,
have
yeah.
talked about. Like, I don't know if it would be good, but I would love to see it.
I would love to see it just
because it would just be interesting.
And I like Quentin. I like Quentin too. I just think all his movies look just alike.
Yeah,
Like I think people like Steven Spielberg. Like I watch Ready Player One. Oh, I love that movie.
I love Spielberg.
You know what I mean? But then you can watch something else from Spielberg and just be like, what? He shot that too?
Yeah.
It's like listening to Timbaland or Kanye West. Like, you don't know who produced it.
Yeah.
Because they don't make the same stuff over and over.
Spielberg is a hit machine.
Yeah.
For decades.
Yeah. It's just a lot of his movies don't resonate with, like, my mindset or, like, how I grew up or, like, what I feel about. Like Creed, I can resonate with that maybe not the boxing, but his story.
Yeah.
I can resonate with that. Or like Black Panther, I mean, that's so cool. Like the first time that like they make Africa look cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying there's not cool places in Africa, but like normally when you see Africa, it's feed the children, blah blah blah.
Right.
But then you get this like futuristic,
like a strong story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and Spike has good stuff, but I don't think he has enough stuff that I'm just like.
He's not your style.
Yeah, he's not my style.
Well, when you talk about Black Panther, it's like the creative just design of that movie, unlike anything I've seen. I think like it was its own vision.
Yeah,
which I thought was just incredible.
Yeah, and then I also like how they kept it culturally like.
Yeah,
like how they brought like the different tribes of Africa together.
Yeah,
but they put them in like the future.
See, I love
cool.
stuff like that. Like that type of creativity where it takes stuff that has a basis in, reality.
Yeah.
But like amps it up and gives it this fresh like take. I love stuff like that.
And then Christopher Nolan is really good too. I love his stuff too. He does his thing.
Yeah.
That's my number one.
Yeah. Christopher Nolan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. He knocks out every movie I watched Tenet and people said it was bad. I was like, I like it.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know what y'all was watching, but
I think anybody that shits on that movie, they are not smart enough to understand his storytelling style.
I've said that about Inception. I talk that movie up all day long, and people hate on it. And
you do like it? I thought you.
I love Inception.
I do too. I think it's really good.
And it's like I just want to tell people you don't get it. That's why you don't like it.
And then
exactly.
And then I was reading comments where it was like, "Oh, this movie's just like Inception." I'm like, "No, it's not.
No,
it's so like different. It's so good."
The only thing that's similar is it is an intricate story that you have to think about.
Yeah.
And the set pieces are very complex, which is a Christopher Nolan hallmark.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. He blew up a real fucking plane.
Yeah.
That was real.
Right.
Yeah. And I like
it was cheaper to blow up a real plane than to do it.
And I like how he takes all the same actors and like gives them different roles and they still execute it.
In like his own little universe in
the
his mind.
Nolan verse.
Yeah. He's really good.
That's good. Coffee or tea? Personal preference here.
Tea, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless it's a caramel macchiato, then coffee. But tea, 99%.
Unless it's liquid candy with a drop of coffee.
Yeah. It's got to taste good.
Yeah.
All right. Pineapple on your pizza?
I don't mind it.
I feel like I'm really out of my element here.
You are out of it.
It's like guest after guest. It's like, it's all right.
I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of gives you that sweet, salty kind of. I love pineapple fried rice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pineapple fried rice is good.
It's really good.
I don't know. That's new to me. What is this?
Really?
Pineapple fried rice?
So you live in Murfreesboro, right?
Yeah.
Go to Samurai. Just order pineapple fried rice to go.
Yeah, I don't remember where I've had it, but I know I've had it. It's
just
good.
go and are you into like cashew nuts and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, just order it. Just say I want pineapple fried rice to go, and just tell me what you think.
All right.
Samurai's. I didn't recommend anything else.
This is not going to lead to pineapple on my pizza, though. Just for the record.
I think it's fine. Like a Hawaiian style pizza, you know, like that.
He hates it.
This interview is over.
I loved your answer when we did your lightning round. You were just like,
no.
Throw it in the trash. No.
Burn it. No. All right.
You answered that question before I finished asking.
I know. You were like, because I knew it was coming. You're like, pineapple on? No. Yeah. Absolutely not.
I'm indifferent, man. I like to.
I feel like everybody we've talked to, other than me, is like, okay.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be the last choice.
Okay,
but it wouldn't be something that I'd be like, if that's all we had. I mean, if you brought in pizza and was like, you want a slice, and that what was on it, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
But would you also then question Bill's ability to make smart decisions?
No. Because I mean,
thank you.
It's just like one of those things where like I know people that like dip fries in like their Frosty at Wendy's and they like that.
Okay, I feel personally attacked right now.
But do you not feel that like that sweet salty kind of?
It's different because that's French fries and a Frosty.
It's still sweet and salty.
Yeah,
though.
But it's still sweet. I wouldn't do that.
When you really break it down, you're like, so you're dipping your potato in ice cream. You're like, yeah, that does sound disgusting.
Yeah.
All right, I'm probably going to cut this whole section out. Or we might leave it. Who knows? All right. Your favorite camera?
Probably ARRI Alexa.
Okay. I really expected you to say Blackmagic because I know.
No, because every movie I think if every movie I like was shot on red, it would probably be red. If every movie I shot was shot on Blackmagic, it would probably be Blackmagic. But every movie I like is shot on ARRI.
They use reds for suicide cameras a lot in like big superhero movies. And stuff. They're always like B cam suicide cams.
Yeah,
because they can afford to throw those away.
Yeah, but every movie that I see shot on like that camera, I'm like, wow. Yeah. And in my opinion, Blackmagic has that light, airy, like it has that feel. I didn't say it looked like it. It just has that like.
Next question, please.
You know how like, you know how red has this like this look. It's kind of got a little more contrast to it. Like Blackmagic doesn't have that much. Like it's kind of, I don't know. It's like light and airy. It's like very. It just has a look that's like it's not too dominant. You know what I mean? You can swing either way with it. So.
Send all your ARRI hate mail to @Moise.
No, I love ARRI.
I know, but you're comparing Blackmagic.
No. I'm saying I like Blackmagic because it doesn't have a dominant look.
Yeah, you feel like it's more neutral.
Yeah,
I don't feel like there's like any aggressive ARRI fans out there. Like the aggressive camps are like Blackmagic and Red.
No, Sony and Canon.
Really?
Yes.
Well, Blackmagic and Red I've experienced in the
on the cinema side.
Maybe the cinema side.
Yeah, like there's some
Sony
gang war going on with those
Sony
two
and Canon shooters. Man.
Sony and Canon shooters. And when I switched to Canon, oh my God.
Did you also get like DMs of people telling you worst mistake ever, you're gonna regret it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's gonna overheat. You're not worried about
that.
It's not overheated one time.
Yeah, I could not get over how many people felt like they were entitled enough to tell me how bad of a decision it was to buy a Canon.
And then you know my favorite thing about it all? When I put stuff out, they're like, that was shot on Blackmagic, wasn't it? No. It was shot on Canon. Like I just put a video out. I was like, yo, those colors are amazing. I was like, Canon R5.
Yeah.
4K HQ.
Yeah.
Get you some. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, no, so I personally, I don't care what you shoot on. If you make a good film, if you shoot on a potato, you make a good film.
Well, like we said,
yeah,
it's all about knowing lighting,
and
lenses and things like that. If you can have the most expensive setup in the world, but if you don't know how to light a scene, then forget about it.
Exactly,
you're not going to maximize its use.
And that's me. Like I wouldn't have cared. If my Blackmagic took Sony lenses, I would still have A7 III.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, once you use a Canon R5. You kind of side out of A7 III a little bit.
I'm gonna keep showing up on your sets with Red though. I'm gonna slowly convert you.
I love
Red's respect.
Alex, like if I could buy a camera today, it would be Red.
Just don't show up on a Team Blackmagic set with a Red because it's like the Yankees and the Red Sox. Like it's not going to be.
We had these conversations all the time. Yeah. But honestly, if I could buy a camera right now, it would be a red. Unless I could afford ARRI Alexa, then it would be ARRI Alexa.
Well, yeah,
but,
yeah. Look
yes.
But yeah, if I could find, I told him as soon as I can find a Komodo, I'm like I will no longer own a Blackmagic. I will have a red Komodo.
And like I tell everybody, like you can always just rent mine.
Yeah, you could just do that.
Yeah. Like the boat, the whole boat thing.
But you
friend
but
with
you
the
know,
boat.
I'm your friend with the boat.
And I'm gonna be so honest. It's not that I think Komodo is just that much better or Blackmagic is that much better. Show up on set with a red. I don't know how it is in you guys' camps, but when all it has to do is say red on it. It could be the red one. All it has to do is say red.
They don't know.
Oh my God, it's justified. We shot Casino. I don't know if you know the hip hop community. We shot Casino. One of Future's artists. I pulled out an A7 III. I thought he was gonna walk off set. He was like, "What is that?" I was like, "It's a And I put it on my Ronin and everything. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not really." Manager walked over. Was like, "Y'all good over here?"
We're not really feeling it.
Oof.
And then I played it back. He's like, "Oh, you know what you're doing? Okay, let's do this." Right, but. And his manager had to pull me to the side. He's like, "Yeah, he used to shooting on a cinema camera. I can't think of." I said, "Red." He's like, "Oh yeah, that one." That.
Yeah.
So it's
that name brand.
If I would have showed up with a Komodo, as long as it said red on it, it'd have been.
Yeah. It's that brand.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, granted though, when I pull up Blackmagic with it fully built out, I get no questions.
Just because of the size.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That?
I was saying to my wife the other day, I was like, how big does the camera have to get before suddenly you're not a weirdo, you're a professional who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a certain size that a camera gets.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, he's legit. He's
Like if
movie.
it's big enough, it has to go on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that guy
but then the
knows what he's
smaller
doing.
it gets, the more it's like, who's this guy running around? You know?
But I will say this. You remember when we were shooting LP's video, right? And you pulled out your Gemini. Did you see his reaction?
Oh, yeah.
If I would have pulled out my Blackmagic next to that, he probably would have said, "Get this all set down." So it's just the red name. It just rings, and especially in like what I like, especially in hip hop world. If you shooting on red, it could be Red Raven, and I could have like Blackmagic 12K.
Yeah,
I don't care what
it's
that
the
is.
Red.
The red is
the Red
what I want to
Raven
shoot on.
with
Well,
the 4.5K.
Yeah.
I'm in some Facebook groups
Super
where
limit.
the divide between the Blackmagic camp and the red camp is a big divide.
Heavy.
Yeah. They're that's why I'm saying like there's some heavy feelings about those two cameras.
Yeah.
And I've seen amazing work from both. I don't know if you've ever watched any of David Pearsall's work, but he shoots everything on his Blackmagic.
I was going to say, he shoots almost everything in Blackmagic.
And it's the Blackmagic 4K at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But hey, I'm with you. Like, it's about what it looks like at the end of the day.
His videos
it's about how you
beautiful.
use the camera. It's not about the brand.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then I don't know. Do you know No Big Deal? Okay, so there's a rapper, No Big Deal. Cinematic shoots all his stuff on I think a Sony A7 III or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe a Sony A7S II or something like that. I don't know what he's shooting on. I just know it looks great.
Yeah.
When I watch, I go, I don't know what this is, but it looks fantastic. Your story, your creativity, your execution, the VFX, it looks amazing. So
lighting,
that's somebody that just knows what they just know what they're doing.
Yeah,
top to bottom.
Yeah, I see kids shooting on A7 IIs, A7S IIIs, and
yeah,
I don't care because it's so well executed.
That's all that matters.
Yep. All right, last question. 3 films everyone should see before they die.
Parasite. Anything Marvel. No, I'm just kidding. So I would say
watch the Infinity Saga start to finish.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I would honestly say Parasite because it's just well executed. I would say Catch Me If You Can.
Ooh,
okay.
Yeah.
My girlfriend put me on to that movie. I've never seen it.
It's good.
But she put me on, and I love that movie. So Parasite, Catch Me If You Can, and if you're not from the hood, Boys in the Hood. But if you're from the hood, I'm sure you've seen it.
If you're from the hood,
if you're from the
Forrest
hood,
Gump.
Yeah, Forrest Gump. Yeah, let's add a little a little inspiration in there. Yeah. But yeah, those are the movies. I think those 3 movies they're not no. I want to swap out Boys in the Hood with Dark Knight.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. Dark Knight. Yeah.
This is your list, so you whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, so Parasite, Catch Me If You Can, Dark Knight. I can watch those movies every time they come on.
Okay. Yeah. You talked about Parasite a couple times. Did you know the exteriors of that house
was green screen?
Like everything from the windows up.
Yeah.
Was all green screen.
Yeah.
When I saw that in one of the BTS scenes, that was the first time in a long time I was legitimately blown away. Like, holy, no way.
Yeah.
Like everything else, you're like, that's not practical.
Yeah.
Like that's a comp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This house, I
didn't know.
No, it was so well done.
I didn't know.
That's awesome.
And you're almost like, well, why not just find the right house?
Exactly. Exactly.
But then like he goes on, I think at some point to like tell the story of like it had the aesthetic that they absolutely needed from the windows down, and everything up was just like,
not quite it.
Yeah. But easy to flip. But it was so well done.
Oh, that movie's so well done. And I love the execution. You should watch it.
I'm going to have to watch it tonight.
You should watch it. I mean,
I'm gonna ask you tomorrow if you watched it.
Cause I'm not going to lie. When I first turned it on, you know how you just scroll? It was on Hulu. I'm just scrolling through Hulu. I guess I'll watch this.
Yeah.
And it starts out slow. And I'm like,
it is kind of a slow.
Well, I watched the trailer and I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going on.
You gotta, and you definitely. It's not the kind of movie that you can like be on your phone or.
No, you gotta.
Well,
watch,
yeah,
like
just
the
subtitles.
Yeah, pay attention.
Yeah, but I genuinely enjoyed it, and I watch it every time that like I can, or like if I just want to learn stuff. If I'm just looking for like creative ways or cinematography, I just watch it. Because I mean, like I'm watching a lot of movies and I'm learning like they don't use a lot of stuff that I feel like I need. Like I feel like I need gimbals, and I think Parasite was shot on tripod. Mostly. Yeah. I don't think they have any track. They might have a couple. No, the one shots that they are walking is just walking past the camera. I think
there are
static locked in.
There are. I would say the largest percentage of shots in that film are locked off.
Wow.
But
that's a very still movie.
You know another director.
But every frame tells a story.
Yeah.
Like it's
cool.
It's really good.
You know another director I really, really, really like. He's not my favorite, but I can watch all his stuff. Hiro Mura.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Atlanta. You ever seen the show Atlanta?
Yeah.
You ever seen anything Childish Gambino? Any of his
I've seen his videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed?
Does he do all his videos too?
I think he does a lot of them.
Okay.
Did he do This Is America? And
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's him. You know that? So This Is America had tracking shots.
Yeah.
Most of his stuff don't have tracking shots.
No.
Even like the one with him and Rihanna, the run scene. Have you noticed that every time it was him running past the camera?
Yeah.
Even like when he was running towards the camera and it would cut to the other shot.
Yeah.
He always uses
always
tripod.
locked on?
Always locked on.
Huh.
Always. And he tells some of the most amazing stories.
That's cool.
Like, if you ever seen any of Atlanta, I don't think any of that is tracking.
And
I wonder if he comes from a stills background. I wonder if that's why
Probably.
he thinks that way.
But I love his creative, like, and I don't know if it, you know what? I don't know if it's Donald Glover or, Donald Glover. I don't know if it's Donald Glover or him. But I know he has a style that's just, like, so different.
I mean, it could be both.
And unorthodox.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen them?
I have not seen them.
Oh,
Yeah.
you gotta watch them.
Yeah.
I think you would love them.
I feel bad. I've not seen anything.
Hey, Corey
that we're
taught me
talking
the
about.
Dutch style. That's kind of what we married this.
Oh,
this
Dutch?
week.
Yeah.
Oh,
Them
it plays with your eyes.
goes
Yeah.
hard on
But
some
I
Dutch
love
angles.
it, though.
And
It's hard to do Dutch without it looking camp, though. You gotta
No,
have
it's-
a
No,
real,
they do it well.
It's so serving of the story. Like it's anytime it's a Dutch shot, like like that's
Something's about to go
there's a
down.
particular.
See, that's the right way.
it's
to
like
do
it's really
Dutch.
well done.
Yeah.
But because I asked Corey what it was, because I know I was just watching it. Like, I don't know what this is, But every time they do it, my anxiety goes up.
Yeah.
You know, because like it messes with
unsettles
your
you.
and then so I like that because it unsettles you just from the horizon line being off, and then something happens. So it's like not only does it make you feel unsettled, but it also like draws you so into the story because you know something's about to go down. It's like playing a game, and then when you hear the boss music. Yeah, that's exactly what it's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, that's like what we were talking about with Prometheus. That whole sequence where she's got to get the squid out of her stomach. Like that whole
quick move to handheld, and
that whole corridor shot is Dutch.
Yeah,
probably handheld and shot on a really wide lens with a tilt shift.
Yeah,
and she's like stumbling and holding her stomach.
Yeah,
and you feel the anxiety Like I felt lightheaded and my palms were getting sweaty.
There's a good translation of story.
Yeah.
Man, we could just go on for hours.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming by today.
I appreciate you for inviting me. This was fun.
It was great.
This I don't want to say it's the best one. I don't want anybody to get jealous. But I like that you could just come by and we could just chop it up.
Yeah, it's been good. Talking shop.
Yeah. I learned a lot too. This was fun. This is really
good.
fun.
I'm glad. If it was good for you, it was good for me.
Same.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
I tell people that all the time. If you liked it, hey, that's all that matters.
If you got what you need out of it, then good.
One last thing. I just shot a music video. This kid is brand new, and I'm not throwing shots at him. But he's like, "What do you think?" And I suggest, "I don't like that." Then he does what he wants to do anyway. So I just shoot what he wants, right? But every single take, he's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, why does it matter what I think? You don't like anything I suggest. You know what I mean?
You're just asking me to be nice.
Yeah, and then we get to the end of the video, and he was like, "So do you like the video?" And I'm like, "It doesn't matter. As long as you like it." I was as an artist. I'm like, as long as you like it, that's all that matters. Because I lit it well, I executed it well, you know, all that different stuff. I said, so as long as I did my DP job, if we were shooting Forrest Gump 2, like, if that's what you like, that's what I was hired to be a DP, though. Like, you know. But so I just thought that was funny. He kept asking me what I thought, and I'm like, I recommend, like, I think you should, in this scene, it should look more powerful, so let's shoot at a lower angle. I don't like that. I think we should shoot high. Okay, let's shoot high. Well, you know, I'm like.
Well, what do you think about it? I think this. Nah.
So, yeah, I don't know. But
do your thing. That's great. Thank you again for coming by.
Yes, thank you.
It's been great, and I'm looking forward. I think we're going to work together again soon.
Okay. Yeah, we got
something coming up. That'll be good. So awesome. Well, we'll leave links to all of your things in today's show notes. We'll make sure we link to your website, all your socials, all those things. And for our listeners, we know you have a lot of podcast options. We appreciate you choosing us. Check us out on Instagram at InFocusPod or online at InFocusPodcast.com. To learn more about today's sponsor, Gnome Studios, you can find them online at gnomestudios.co or on Instagram at Gnome Studios. Gnome Studios is located in a centuries-old warehouse just outside of downtown Nashville and is an amazing full-service recording studio. Check them out for your next project. And if you like what you heard today, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a rating. It would help us out a ton. And until next time,
feed your crew.
Feed your crew.